What's good, everybody? This Ace. Here with my partner Mark, and we are about that sports life, man. We got plenty to talk about, man. A lot going on. Uh, the proverbial fireworks went off, in NBA and NFL. So we got a lot to talk about. And we'll get into it. We're gonna get into all of it. But before we do that, what's good?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain. Life-wise, things are good. Sports-wise, we've been up and down.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, if we talk about it, well, let's not go too hard on you that quick. Nice weather we having.
Yeah, Philly got some nice weather today. That's the truth. but let's start with San Fran. They were number one NFL, right?
Yeah,
They moved up from 12 to 3. In my opinion, I think it's going to be Justin Fields. I know some people say Lance. I don't know why we hear Wilson as much. It just seems like Wilson is locked in at 2 as long as the Jets go quarterback still. But I really like what San Fran did. They identified that they need to upgrade the position. That guy does not have to play this year because they do still have Garoppolo. But they made the move. They're not worrying about future. They're worrying about locking in their starting quarterback now. They gave up 2 first-round picks going forward. But when you get your franchise quarterback, we all understand none of that matters. And I think Justin Fields is who I would take. And if you give him the year to learn under Shanahan has proven to be a good quarterback developer. I think Fields can really be a big time quarterback with him in that offense.
Oh well, I got a similar feeling. Like, I mean, it was definitely a move to get a quarterback. But I do think it's gonna be Trey Lance. I think that for one of the reasons being that I feel like Trey Lance's ceiling might be a little bit higher than Justin Fields. Justin Fields, to me, is the better quarterback now. But I feel like if what they're saying is true, and they say, this isn't necessarily saying they're gonna get rid of Garoppolo. I think that you keep Garoppolo for a year, Trey Lance behind him for probably not even the whole season, but to start with, and then you bring Trey Lance in. And I've always, ever since the Zach Wilson talk has started and become so prevalent, I've always kind of had Justin Fields penciled into the Falcons. I just feel like he's a Georgia kid, and I always had him kind of. I think they're going to do that, and similar situation. Let him play behind Matt Ryan for a year, possibly not even the whole year, and then rock with it from there. But that could be why San Francisco made this trade. San Francisco may be looking at Fields, and they may have made this trade to make sure that they leapfrog Atlanta to get Fields.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. I also thought Fields and the Falcons made the most sense. Like, I thought that is up there with Lawrence going number 1. I thought that was like kind of something you could see months ahead of time. But when you see a team jump in front of them specifically, right, for a quarterback, it kind of signals to me, hey, if you know that that situation looks like that's where it's going to end up, you got to get in front of them or you can't get that guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes me think.
I feel similarly. Myself, I feel similarly like that with Denver. Cowboys, we're sitting at 10, and we want that cornerback, whatever the top cornerback is. Just so happens that there is 2, so we'll probably get one of the 2. But I do feel like I've been wanting to kind of think, what would it take to jump to 8? Because I believe that Denver might be in looking at corners too. So just to have our choice, it might make sense to jump to 8. So I can see why San Francisco would want to do that. Because even if they decide, because Justin Fields still hasn't had his pro day yet. So traditionally you would want to see that first before you make a move like this. Trey Lance has had his already. I mean, I'm just saying, but it's like, why not wait a week?
Yeah, it's a solidifier. Like, if you could say, okay, they want to see it, but at the same time, they've seen enough on tape. And if you make the move, and if he has a good pro day, you're already in position. If he doesn't have a good pro day, and you feel like Trey Lance had a better one, and you put the whole picture together, and you're leaning towards Lance, again, you're in position. So I don't think the time is going to affect who they pick or signaling where they're leaning, but we both agree that it's a move for a quarterback, and they needed to do it to lock in their future because Garoppolo has had injuries for one, and he hasn't lived up to what he played. Like his first season there, it looked promising. Since then, it's been up and down, even to the point where we can kind of say they didn't win a Super Bowl because they didn't trust him fully, you know? So
Yeah.
they had to get their guy. Now, the team they traded with is the team I believe gets the best grade for the whole day, and that's the Dolphins.
Killing it.
The Dolphins, they identified that they are going to build around Tua. So you don't need to be at the third pick. And if the guy you like, if you were leaning towards taking Chase or Devonta Smith at 3,
I
you're
think it's
still going to
Smith.
you're
But
still going to get that guy at 6,
yeah,
right? And they weren't originally at 6; they originally traded back to 12, right? But because they have such great draft capital right now, what do? They move up. They see the Eagles there at 6. They make a deal with them. They're back in position to get Chase, Smith, Kyle Pitts. Let's not eliminate him. The same guy they identified at 3, they're probably going to get at 6, and they didn't have to give up much to get back to 6,
they,
along with adding 2 picks, huh?
they really didn't give up anything.
Yeah, because of the trade back and originally, yeah, they didn't lose anything. Like they gained 2 picks from San Fran, and then they're only giving up 1 pick to the Eagles to get back up.
And the
So
pick that they had originally wasn't even their pick. The number 3 pick is not their pick.
no, it's the Texans, absolutely.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything.
They didn't lose anything because their pick is 18.
Yeah, they
Their
playing with
pick
house
is 18.
money at this
House
point.
money. That's why the Dolphins, to me, they get the grade of the day. I think
Yeah.
the 49ers did a good job. Like, if I got to slot them, right, I'm going to go 49ers are second, Dolphins are first. The team at 6 is pulling in the rear. And now we'll talk about the team at 6.
We're gonna talk about it. Oh, I want to talk about one thing. So there hasn't been quarterbacks go at the first 4 picks for
ever.
I mean, it's been done. It's happened before, but it hasn't been in forever.
I don't think it's ever happened. The first 4
picks. I just saw they said it, the stat. It was the year. Damn, I can't even think about it right now. I can't think of it. I just seen it too.
Because I know what's close is 97 or 98, where you had Tim Couch went 1 to the Browns, McNabb went 2, and then I think Achilles Smith, I'm not sure if he was 4 or was he 3, but and then they had like the kid, I think it's Cade McNown, like that was one, and then Dante Culpepper's later. That's one draft that resembles this one. But go ahead, let's continue. You were saying.
Well, what I want to talk about Zach was for a while. I mean, we all know what Trevor Lawrence is, so let's throw him out the conversation. We already know what that is. But Zach Wilson was to me. I didn't see. I don't watch BYU. Wasn't watching him. I wasn't much mind. I heard his name. I hadn't really paid any attention to him until today. Like, I've heard his name. I'm like, I never thought he was better than, to me, Justin Fields. I thought Trey Lance was probably better too. But seeing him at his pro day today, I understand now. I get it. I understand. I don't know if you saw any of it today. I was home working, and I had NFL Network on, so I saw his entire pro day.
I didn't see his pro day. I've heard things, but I've seen him play. Yeah, I mean, I do think the potential is definitely there, right?
Yeah,
I believe he has as much potential as anybody in the draft, including Lawrence. But what worries me a little bit about Zach Wilson is the same thing that worried me with guys like Trubisky. You can even put Carson Wentz in that line, even though I think Carson is a better quarterback than what he looked like last year. He did not do what he did against smaller schools, against bigger schools. You know what I mean? And now that does not always mean you're not going to grow into a good NFL quarterback. Josh Allen is the most recent example. He's from Wyoming. So it does not really matter where you come from and who you play with. If you have the talent, you have the talent. I like the fact that he is a dual threat. Like, forget his race or forget what he looks like. He does not look like a dual threat, but when you watch him, he can move. And he showed that today running his 40 time. He can move. Justin Fields to me was number two, and he's still number two. He's not going to go number two, whatever. To me, Justin Fields is number two because I've seen him do it at every level. You know what I mean? I know they try to say, oh, he's an Ohio State quarterback. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. I don't care what school you went to. Nobody, no, like Aaron Rodgers is great from Cal, but Jared Goff is average. Like, so that means nothing. But Justin Fields has the legs, he has the arm, he's battle tested. We saw what he did against Clemson, right? He gets hurt and he still comes back out, shows his mental toughness and balls.
Personally,
like
I like Justin Fields better. Like I said, throwing Trevor Lawrence out, of course. I like Justin Fields best. But watching Zach Wilson, I can see it now. I can see where the hype is coming from. And it's just, to me, 100% is arm talent and the way he moves in the pocket. To me,
he does.
It's very Rodgers-like. It's very Mahomes-like.
Yeah, you know they've been calling him Mormon Mahomes.
Yeah, no. When I seen him through the balls, okay, now I understand. Like the way he on deep throws, the type of he got on a deep throw is like, okay, that I see what we're talking about there.
The arm is there for sure.
He's not loft in nothing. Nothing's loft in nothing. It's all coming in hot. So I can see it. And I definitely see why a team like the Jets should be looking at that.
I feel they sent their whole brass today. I didn't watch it, but I do know that Joe Douglas was there, Robert Saleh was there, and I don't know the offensive coordinator's name, but he was also there. When you send your whole brass, you're interested. Like you are kind of signaling what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like as long as this guy doesn't blow it today, we're meeting him. We're doing everything today. That's their guy. Like I don't care Sam Darnold. I know Corey Davis talking about, he signed thinking Sam Darnold's the quarterback. Sounds good. Sam Darnold might be the quarterback for the first 5 games, but they drafted that kid number 2, and that's fine. That's why I think San Francisco. You take Fields, you develop them, you got our guy.
Yeah, when you see that type of arm talent, it's like that's the guy. Like when you talk about somewhere like New York, they play in Jersey, Northeast, winters. You need a guy that's going to be able to really do it. Not saying anything about Sam Darnold. He's proven that he can do it. He's done it, but not consistently. But when I look at
he hasn't proven anything to me.
Yeah, Zach Wilson looks like a guy that's going to be able to do it. So I'll definitely. I get it now. I get the hype. I understand. Is what I'm really trying to say.
Yeah, understood.
Like I said, as far as Justin Fields was a kid, I was actually watching. I was watching Ohio State. I watched him play against Clemson. I watched those games. So I already had more of an understanding. Trey Lance, I had to research a little bit more. I wasn't watching him, so I went and watched him, and I can see what the hype is with that. Zach Wilson, I didn't get it until today.
Yeah, it's the BYU. Now let's pull the Band-Aid off. Let's talk about the last team that made a trade today.
Yeah. We got to talk about that.
In the beginning, as we know, San Francisco made the trade up first. So as an Eagles fan, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, pick 6, thank you. What we needed to have it happen. The Dolphins are no longer in the way. Jamar Chase, welcome to Philadelphia. That's what I was thinking for 10 minutes. Then I get another alert. The Eagles have traded down from pick 6 to pick 12 with the Dolphins. Excuse me? That's how I still feel. Excuse me? I understand. Some fans are like, well, we got 3 first-round picks next year, potentially, because the Wentz pick is conditional. That's cool. You right. Clap it up. You had a generational player at number 6. 2 of them. Maybe 3. Between Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, and Devonta Smith. You were in position. You didn't have to trade. You didn't have to do nothing. You stay there. You pick them. You give Jalen Hurts the chance to grow. Bang, let's move. They decide to trade back. Now they're in a position where you're hoping someone falls. You're hoping Devonta Smith falls to you. You're hoping somebody doesn't fall in love with Waddle and take him in front of you. You're hoping like you taking the control out because now they're even behind the Giants and the Cowboys. You had the worst record last year. You have the most holes, and you're picking behind the Giants and the Cowboys. It's like
I always felt like, but I'm gonna be honest. I never thought y'all were gonna take Jamar Chase. I still feel like you guys are gonna go either offensive line or defense.
we have
And
no offensive line. It makes no sense to pick an offensive line.
I mean,
No,
it never
injury was why they had a problem at O-line last year.
doesn't make sense to take over. I wouldn't be mad if we take Rashawn Slater. I want one of the corners. But
you have somewhere for him to walk into, though. We don't.
Yeah, but like I said, Micah Parsons, Kwity Paye, those are the dudes I'm looking at for y'all. You guys like to take, well, not linebackers, but y'all like
linebacker.
to take.
I was getting ready to say that. Linebacker, defensive end, a fat end. Yeah, knowing this guy,
that's what y'all do.
I'm gonna lose my mind. Because it's about. No, it's not wrong to take that position because there's always value in the defensive line. There's always value in offensive line. I can understand D-line a little more than O-line this year because we really do not need an O-lineman in the first round. Brandon Brooks will be back. I know he's getting older, but he will be back. Lane Johnson's still there. Dillard didn't even play last year. You found out that Mailata could play. Like, you do not need an offensive lineman. You could take a defensive lineman. Brandon Graham's getting older. Barnett is a up in the air, but I just don't see that dominant defensive end in this class. You know what I mean? Micah Parsons, I would be okay with. The Eagles don't pick linebacker in the first round. Hasn't happened in my lifetime.
Well, y'all said that 12, Micah Parsons would be a great.
It'd be a home run. Home run. This is what I was going to say real quick. There's 3 ways where Howie Roseman will end up getting a pat on the back, even though it hurt getting there. If at 12, Devonta Smith is still there and he gets him, fine. If Micah Parsons is there at 12, he gets him, cool. Or Jalen Waddle. If he still gets one of those guys at 12, right? And he got the extra first round pick next year.
One of those dudes will have to be available at 12. That's the only thing I say that's good about it. One of those dudes will have to be there.
Yeah, as much as it hurt, I wanted Jamar Chase. As much as that was who I wanted, I will easily be able to say, okay, I didn't get him, but I still got a very good player, and we picked up a future pick. It'll work out that way. Right now, in the moment, it's like, yo, why? Unnecessary. At the moment, it hurts. It's like, damn, bro, we ain't picked this high in forever. We finally get there, and you trade out, but so, as like we said, we were doing a ranking. We both agree, Dolphins, number 1.
Yeah.
49ers right there. We're not going to say it's a huge gap between them and the Dolphins. Eagles, it's a to be determined. You're third right now.
It's all going to depend on who. See, all right, here's my thing. Because of what happened, and I'm sure you guys had an idea of what was happening, it's not the end of the world because everybody that's trading up or everybody that's moved up is moving for a quarter. Well, the Niners are moving up for a quarterback.
Yeah.
I do think that Miami's going to take a receiver. I think that the receiver is going to be Devonta Smith. I don't think Jamar Chase gets past Detroit.
I see it. I got the exact opposite, but yes, I think Chase goes 6, Devonta Smith goes 7.
No, either way, one or the other. But I don't think he gets past Detroit if he's there. So like you said, it's still Kyle Pitts, it's still Waddle. It's still, Parsons that are available.
That's the
Pitts. Now Pitts can go to anybody. That's he's like an X factor because to me he's really second best player. He's really the second best player in the draft.
Giants.
I don't know.
That's my fear. Giants. That's my fear.
Yeah.
Is that it plays out how we're talking, right? Jamar Chase or Devonta is 6. Lions take the other one, right? We're thinking, okay, Pitts is still there, right? 8. Say Trey Lance goes there. Say another quarterback, right? Or Mac Jones. Say another Carolina needs a quarterback. Let's say another one goes there, right? 9, Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn. 10, the other one, Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn, right? You're at 11. If you're the Eagles, you're like, okay, Pitts is still there. Parsons is still there. We lean Pitts, but we're okay with Parsons. The Giants will smack you in the face, and they'll take Pitts, and their offense will be Listen to this. Listen to their offense. Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton, Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what?
they had a top 10 defense last year.
What? And they just signed Adoree Jackson to play with James Bradbury. And they have Xavier McKinney coming back.
Yeah, things will get
Their
real weird.
only question mark is Daniel Jones in the offensive line.
Yeah,
that's their question. Their
but
weapons
they
are
may have to go
ridiculous.
offensive line too. They may have to take
a
Rashawn Slater.
O-line, O-line is something I can see the Giants.
Because that's the thing. You got to start thinking that, like, with all these quarterbacks getting taken, guys is going to slide. That wouldn't normally
that's
be
the good thing. That's the only good thing. Yep.
And I'm thinking about that at 10 too. Cause like I feel like there's no reason why we shouldn't take a corner. Because there's two elite corners.
Or O-line for y'all.
But at the same time, taking Rashawn Slater, I would not be mad. Taking Kyle Pitts, I'm not gonna be mad at that. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I would feel the same way about y'all taking Pitts as I did with Lamb. It does not make you any better. Your offense is already there. Your skill positions are already there, bro. Like, they're there. Y'all got the same skill positions like the Giants. Come on. Amari, Gallup, Zeke, Pollard, like, they're there. Y'all got the quarterback back.
But I would, I'm
Pitts.
not going to be mad at taking Kyle Pitts. I'm not going to be mad about that. You cannot get me to be angry.
No, don't be angry. Just know it doesn't make you better.
It's not my preference. I want the corner. To be honest, we haven't had a number one. Well, we had Byron
Jones.
But at the same time,
you had one. That's the problem.
Those are two studs, man. Like, and I feel like we get that. And a lot of people have downplayed what we've done in free agency as far as getting Keanu Neal and getting KZ. I'm happy with it.
I like KZ a little more than Neal, but it's not bad.
Because to me, if you put a top corner with those, I think we are. That changes the whole defense, because people think, oh, your defense was terrible, blah blah blah. But my thing is this:
secondary was terrible, not the whole defense.
They was very bad, and our linebackers played terrible. But I think it was more scheme than talent.
Yeah, they have talent.
I know those guys.
The talent's there, and injury.
Once you solidify areas on that defense, especially in the secondary, it changes things. The defense could change very quickly if you solidify those corners. If you solidify that back end. You know what I mean? You got Keanu Neal coming in. He's going to play the weak side linebacker. He's going to be guarding tight ends and, playing in the box. Like, these are things that are going to change the way we were able to play defense. Like, we were hurting in the secondary last year. We didn't have dudes that could cover. Our linebackers were out of position more often than they were in position.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and that's going to change the pass rush. So that's why I'm all in on getting that corner. I know what that can do for your defense. But at the same time, I also know that Kyle Pitts is a generational talent. To me, he's the second best player in this draft. And I also know that if you get a Rashawn Slater and you hit on that, then you get in that left tackle spot for the next 10 years, because we already still have Tyron Smith there. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't be mad at any of those. But
and they say Slater could play inside for a couple of years too. Like, you kick him in until Tyron Smith is ready. That's why I feel like for y'all, if you go offense, it's O-line, defense is corner, maybe Parsons too, because there is some questions about Jalen Smith. Let's just be real.
The problem with Jalen Smith is that he's not a cover linebacker. He can't cover anybody.
And Parsons
he's a run
is everything.
And he can rush. So that's why we got Keanu Neal. Keanu Neal is going to be the guy that switches out with Jalen Smith when he has to guard receivers or the tight end. That's the whole point of that.
And what's Vander Esch's health situation?
I mean, from everything I've heard, Vander Esch is healthy and ready to go. From everything that I've
can you depend on him to stay on the field?
That's the problem.
That's the issue.
But I would rather address that second round.
Later. Agreed. Fully.
I'd rather address that later. First round, I'm looking at that elite cornerback, that elite number one shutdown potential guy. That's what I want.
Yep. Surtain or Horn. That's where y'all got to go. But let's go to the big trade
Receivers out
deadline.
there. Too many receivers not to have a shutdown. You have to have one.
Man, yo,
Too many.
too
Holiday
many.
is in the division now.
He's not the only one.
McLaurin is in the division now, bro. I mean,
Been there. Yeah, Curtis Samuel is playing with McLaurin. Yep.
you gotta have that.
Yo, everybody has receivers but the Eagles.
Hey man, I'm not gonna bring it up. Man, hey, let's switch gears. We got a lot more draft talk to come.
Everybody but the Eagles.
I mean, it's possible that we can see more trades. Except you the Jets, and if for whatever reason you feel strongly about Darnold and that's who you keeping, you gotta trade out of that too. You gotta get some assets for that second pick.
Absolutely. But I think that's why we seen the trade at 3. They're not trading 2. I don't think teams know that.
I don't think so either. I'm actually surprised Miami traded. I'm surprised that they are sold on Tua. I like Tua, but I'm surprised.
I'm not surprised. I've said this multiple times. That pick was for sale. That was the one pick I knew they either had to be in love with Chase or Smith that much where they just said they don't care where they draft them, or they were trading out. Like it was too much. Like you said, it's too much value in this draft on quarterbacks. When you have your quarterback, you don't stay there and just take another position. You capitalize on the situation. Yeah, and that's what they did.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go. I mean, and the way we've been talking about the NFL, you would think they were the ones that had the most
trade deadline, right?
But no, it's not even close. NBA trade deadline. I'm gonna say this. I didn't say it on our last show, but I thought it was gonna be quiet. I stand corrected. It was not quiet at all. And it's crazy that the number one guy that I thought was going to be moved did not get moved. Kyle Lowry stayed put. I think that, to me, that was like almost the biggest story of the trade deadline, that Kyle Lowry get traded. Like, that was kind of crazy.
We had a lot of activity outside of the one guy everybody thought was going to get traded. And that's what's crazy. Outside of him, you thought it was going to be him and Oladipo. Oladipo ended up getting dealt at the last minute. But it's amazing that it's crazy to me that he didn't get traded. Kyle Lowry. Philly's the team that everybody thought he was going to go to. Lakers kind of played around in there at the end, along with the Miami Heat. I never really thought the Heat were going to get it done because Raptors seemed pretty consistent on getting Tyler Hero, and the Heat weren't giving that up. So I kind of never thought the Heat were going to get it. I thought it was going to be between the Sixers, and then once the Lakers got in there, and then that package is pretty good. Then it's Schroeder, what was it? Caldwell Pope and a pick. Like, that's not bad. I thought, like, if you're the Raptors, it's not a bad return for him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But then if you go to Philly, you get Danny Green, who we still see has game left. You would have got Tyrese Maxey and a pick from us. I'm kind of surprised they didn't take that. It come to find out they wanted Thibault and Maxey along with Green to make the money match, and that's where, like, I'm actually proud Daryl Morey didn't do that. Yeah, I wanted Lowry, and Lowry would have helped to make us better, but that's too much for a guy.
I don't think you guys needed Lowry. I don't think y'all. I think that what y'all actually ended up doing, getting George Hill, was about what y'all needed to do. That's just. I
like the George Hill. Yeah,
that's what I said. That's just about it. That's just y'all. Lowry would be great. I think we needed
another piece.
But I don't think y'all needed the Lowry. I think y'all needed somebody that can handle the ball if Ben's not on the floor, for sure. But y'all didn't necessarily need Kyle Lowry. I didn't think
I don't know if I specific because Oladipo was who I wanted personally. I think we needed another wing, another scorer, another guy that could create his own shot, because we know I'm a big Ben fan and everything. But we know Ben struggles with that, and come playoff time,
you have to just trust Shake Milton and Maxey a little bit more than you probably would be comfortable with. But those are the
Maxey's not. I don't see Maxey playing in the playoffs, but it's going to have to be George Hill, Shake Milton. They got to make up that. Tobias has been showing all year that he's ready. So I like the George Hill thing. I kind of thought we needed another piece, but I did not want to give up a bunch for that piece because, like you said, we're not far away from anyone. Like, anyone that thinks the Sixers are not right there or right in the mix, you're lying to yourself. Yes, I think we could have used another player like an Oladipo, if the Spurs would have moved DeRozan, that was somebody I was interested in. I think we could have used one of those guys. Yeah, that you always can get better, but I never thought that you had to sell the farm to get a guy. You know what I mean? Like we did for Jimmy Butler and Tobias.
I still feel like you guys have the most complete team once Embiid gets back healthy. In the East, at least, the Jazz might be a little bit more of a complete team, and especially the way they play ball as a team.
Where they shoot the lights out.
Yeah, but the Nets, of course, have the most talent, but I feel like the Nets right now are playing with fire a little bit. I don't know what Durant's health really is. I don't know what Kyrie's situation is, and Blake is just getting the training wheels off. But you're playing with fire when you come off the All-Star break in a shortened season, and you don't have those guys in the lineup yet. They need to be in the lineup forming some type of chemistry, because of course they're going to be the most talented team in any given playoff season. But when that temperature gets turned up, you got to trust that other dude. I've seen it. We all seen it in the playoffs. We can point to the Clippers real quickly. They had all the time in the world, but when that heat got turned up, they just didn't trust each other enough. That was the real problem with the Clippers last year. That nobody knew who was going to finish, who was going to take the shot when, they just didn't trust what was going on. And I feel like the Nets could find themselves in the same situation if they had a more battle-tested coach. I might feel differently, but with a first time ever coaching coach, and you don't got your guys on the floor together until the stretch run to the playoffs, I don't know, man. I think they're playing with fire.
I think that their question mark for sure is what's up with Durant. It's starting to get kind of weird because we're not really hearing what's up with him. He's just continuing to be out. They keep saying it's something with his leg, supposed to be a playoff of what happened with his Achilles. We will know. But then even with Durant, that team does not play any defense. And we've never seen a team with a 25th ranked defense in the league win a championship or even make it to a championship. Right? I mean, that's always something that
what I'm saying, though. Not to
that's
cut you
always
off.
something that holds you back is defense.
If y'all gonna gel and be able to play, you got to be on the court to play defense. You can't just hop in there and trust that man that he's gonna be able to guard that man, or trust that he's gonna help you when you can't.
You gotta learn the rotations and everything.
That's what I'm saying. But you go ahead, man.
Yeah, hold on. We can move from the Nets. You brought up the Clippers and some of the issues they had last year. I kind of think they kind of solved that a little bit today.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
They did not have a real point guard at all on their roster. Right? Paul George, they were kind of using him as the creator. Lou Williams is a scorer. Like Kawhi's never been that point forward type. Rajon Rondo is a point guard of all point guards. Like he is as pure of a point guard as you're going to get. You know what I mean? And they need that guy, that leader in crunch time, that guy to settle down the offense, that guy to pick the other team apart and find Paul George or find Kawhi to settle things down from Ty Lue and get things in control when you need it. Because we saw some issues with that last year in the bubble. That was a good move. Like I feel sorry for my man Lou. I wanted to see him make another run.
I feel like he's fine.
Well, I'm talking about in a winning
he got the lemon pepper order. They was making lemon pepper order before he got off the plane. The biggest lemon pepper right up off as soon as he get off.
Yes. In that terms, yes, he's going to be very happy going back home. The strip clubs they celebrating Lou is home. Lou Willville is going to be up and rolling. All of that, yeah. But I wanted to see my boy.
Him and Trey getting crazy out there.
I wanted to see my boy win. I wanted to see him get a chance to another. Like I always have Lou's always been one of my favorite players ever since he was with the Sixers. But you make the moves to win, and that's what the Clippers did. I really like that Rondo move.
And that goes all the way back to the bubble, where I feel like the two guys that got moved, Trez and Lou Will, they never wanted to be there at all in the bubble. They always struck me as they didn't want to be there. And I feel like that carried over to this season. They moved, Trez left of his own volition. And then I think moving Lou Will was like the last, bit of that. And I think that And like you said, I think that the Clippers are ready to turn the page, man. I think that Rondo, trust me, as a Celtics fan, I'm very, 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 very familiar with Rondo and what Rondo can do.
Playoff
And
Rondo.
it's whatever term you like to use, whether you call it they call it a hot dog, they call you might have somebody call it a mole, you might have heard people call it a jock. What other words do they use for it? I can't even think of all the other words, but whatever you call somebody that usually they refer to as somebody that always wants to shoot the ball, right?
Mm-hmm. Ball hog.
Ball hog. Rondo is that, except for assists. He's the exact
I was wondering where this was going, but that's a good one.
opposite of Rondo will dribble the ball 57 times on one possession just so he can get that one assist that's going to lead to a bucket. I've seen it with my own. Like he can be frustrating in that way sometimes because Rondo is not a shooter, so he's very reluctant to shoot. He'll pass up open shots, but he's always looking to pass the ball. But
big shot, Tatum.
On a team like the 08 Celtics, that worked in our favor. And on a team like the 2021 Clippers, I believe it'll work in their favor as well. I think he was a big reason why the Lakers won the chip last year. I really do. I feel like he's a huge factor, and I feel like he's going to be just as big a factor with the Clippers this year. I got them as right now. I have them, neck and neck, there with anybody.
Tatum going stupid right now.
I got them right there with anybody in the West. They
agree.
I feel like they have as good a chance to win the West as anybody.
They needed that lead. They needed that lead guard, and they got him. That was one of the better trades of the day. Another another deal that I really was impressed by and did not see coming at all was Chicago going to get Vukovic. I remember we've talked about this before, where I never thought they were going to trade Levine because I felt like he was coming into his own and he was starting to excel, and he's young enough where he could be there for a rebuild. For them to go get another proven player shows that the Bulls are ready to start making more advancements in their rebuild.
That's the type of move you have to make if you want to keep a Levine. If you plan on doing, you have to make a move like that. And I applaud him for it because that's how you build a winning team. Like you have one player that's a winning player. Now you gotta get another one, and you gotta figure out how to do it. And they got rid of a couple guys to do it, and I'm not mad. I also thought marketing was going to get moved as well.
I was surprised they were able to do it without giving him up.
Yeah. I figured marketing would be on his way out of there as well with that trade. But
I think they benefited off of Orlando doing the right thing. Honestly, Orlando, it was time to blow it up. That core was not going anywhere. You had a couple good pieces. You were able to move them now, get your assets, and let's fully rebuild. Maybe Jonathan Isaac could be part of it. I don't know. His injury has really set him back. But you have folks who look like he was starting to come into his own. You have to see what he is after his injury. Cole Anthony has showed some flashes this year. But now you can fully press the restart. They can lose some more games this year. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say they could lose some more games this year, get in a nicer lottery situation where they may end up with a Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley or a Jalen Green, right? It's time for them to fully rebuild. And I think that right there is what the Bulls were able to capitalize off of and get Vukovic for a smaller return than normal. And then I think the Nuggets getting Aaron Gordon without giving up Michael Porter Jr.
That was big. No, the crazy thing about what the Nuggets did,
we both feel very strongly about the Nuggets.
Yeah, the crazy thing about what they did, they replaced everything that they lost in the offseason with that. Because basically they lost Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee. And
I had to remember who they lost. Yep.
And Aaron Gordon. They filled those two roles with arguably, well, I ain't gonna say because Jeremy Grant has proven to be really good in Detroit.
Yeah, I think Grant at this point is better than
better
Gordon,
than
but you don't need that. Exactly. What they need fits.
They were able to replace the roles.
They are another one who I think the Bulls need to be watching exactly how they did it That's who they need to mirror their rebuild after. But you already had Murray, player. Jokic is an MVP candidate. We know that. Porter Jr. is starting to really come into his own. Now you just add that real center, another backup, or he could start with JaVale McGee, and then you add another wing presence in Aaron Gordon. And Aaron Gordon now no longer has to think he has to be one of the guys, like a true
Yeah,
go-to guy, because he was not filling that role. I mean, he does not have to do that anymore with Denver. He can just fall in line and do the things he does well, play an athleticism game, run and get to the rim and for open passes from Murray and Jokic. Um, Protect the rim when they need him to. Play other wings on defense. Like he fits what they needed, like you said, that Grant was able to do previously. So he's in that role there. So I like what Denver did. Denver is another, like, they were a quiet team. We didn't expect them to make this many moves before the deadline happened, but they picked their spots perfectly. And that team, they
yeah.
weren't in
And
the top five yet, but they're gonna be right back in it.
it's funny because rumors, the rumor mill leading up to the trade deadline, it was always for Aaron Gordon, it was the Celtics and the Nuggets. So and I kept hearing about them, but I always felt like we would have the upper hand. But then when I really looked at what they were offering, we couldn't
Couldn't
match them.
top it.
When they're offering Gary Harris, who's a starting caliber, shooting
Wing.
guard,
Mm-hmm.
that's like we don't have that. We don't have that to offer unless we throw in Marcus Smart, which I was hoping that we weren't. I did not want to trade Marcus Smart for an Aaron Gordon. To me, I would have loved to add Aaron Gordon, but not at the expense of Marcus Smart. To me, that was a bit too. So
Well, you guys benefited from the Orlando blow up too. Evan
yeah, no,
Fournier for
I
two
love
second round picks.
Evan Fournier. I love Evan Fournier, and I love the cost. 2 second rounders, you give me a starting
And
caliber.
that trade exception is what helped get it done.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I was hoping that when I saw that happen, I won't say before, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think about Evan Fournier before the deadline. But once I saw that deal go through, I was like, man, once we knew we wasn't getting Lowry and that Houston wasn't going to trade us Oladipo, Fournier and George Hill, I feel like those two would have equaled exactly what I thought we needed to break that next leap to be for sure the best in the East. But that's just speculation talk. Fournier is a scorer, he's a creator. People kind of don't know as much about him because he's been in Orlando for so long. But he could play. He could play.
That's one, and I think all three of those guys are suffering from that Orlando, which is also weird because if all three of them was Orlando should have been a better team. But let's not even talk about that. But Vukovic in Chicago, people are gonna really. I mean, he's already an all-star. People are gonna really understand how good he is. Fournier, to me, like I said, he's a scorer, and coming up. That's exactly what we need. Somebody to get some buckets off the bench. We still need some size. I think we're still working on that, but Fournier, yeah, and I was sad to see Tice go. Tice is one of those guys that always kind of outplayed his role to me. For us, he was always better than he was ever supposed to be. So I was sad to see him go, but we had to do it basically salary wise. We had to move him and bringing back Mo Wagner and as the other guy from what I'm hearing is a knockdown shooter that I've never heard of. So if we end up keeping him, great. But who knows about that? But like I said, Fournier was a pleasant surprise to me.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. But like I said, just like the Bulls and the Nuggets, y'all benefited from the Orlando teardown. And that's what happens when teams tear it down. Somebody's going to benefit from it. I know you made it.
Didn't get moved, and I'm surprised that you guys didn't go after him, and I'm surprised the Lakers didn't go after him. It's Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross was sitting there. I'm like,
Sixers fans have been trying to get Terrence Ross for 3 years now. Like, if you follow the Sixers, for a minute, and you saw when all this was happening, he tweeted like the little eye emojis, like, what the is going on? Like, I'm the only one left. Yeah, exactly. I think he would have been that same Evan Fournier role for us. That would have been nice, but maybe he gets pulled out. You don't know.
Yeah, I was very surprised that he didn't get moved.
Yeah, because if you tearing it all down, he should. Yeah, I saw that too out the corner of my eye. He should be put into that situation too, and they should let him go too. But that didn't happen. We'll leave that alone for now. What was it? One more move I was thinking think we might have touched on all of them. Hold on. Oh no. There's one that I don't get because I kind of feel like it's the same move. I really like Gary Trent Jr. I really think he's a.
Well, I get it. I get their move. I get that move. But y'all
All right, hold on. Yeah, I think that he's a big time shooter already, and as his one-on-one creation game keeps growing, I feel like he's going to be exactly what CJ is for Portland now, right? You traded him though. I get trading him, but trading him for Norman Powell is kind of the same thing. Yes, he's more of a defensive present, right? But where are you playing him along with Dame and CJ? Now you got three guys on the court under 6'3". Like
but,
I
I
get
mean,
it from the Raptors side. I don't really understand it from the Blazers side.
well, Norman
And they
Powell,
gave up Rodney Hood.
he plays the three a lot for the Raptors. So I think if it to me, I've always said it's not your size or where you want to. Who can you defend? If you could defend threes, I'm fine with you playing the three. No matter what size you are. To me, if we line Marcus Smart up at the three, I don't care. I know Marcus Smart can guard threes. I don't care.
Yeah, he's a dog. Yeah. Norman Powell may have that dog in him too. Yeah. But
I just think that Norman Powell
do you think he was worth do you think he was worth both Trent and Hood?
I think he's a combination of what they wanted from Trent and Hood. So you take those two players and you get the one player that does what you wanted them both to do. And I think that's basically what they did. They got, a guy who can defend threes and defend the guys that Dame and CJ can't. And also he's going to be able to hit an open shot and he can
do that.
Well, so I feel like I see what they were doing there. They were looking for a more solid version of that player. Gary Trent was good, but still a little inconsistent. Hood has been hurt pretty much since he's been there.
Yeah.
Hasn't done what they pretty much just went with the sure thing. Like, all right, we see what Norman Powell been doing game in and game out. Let's just grab him.
We'll see how it plays out. I still, like I said, I know I like Trent a little more than others because I really think Trent has a big future.
I love Trent. I like Trent a lot.
Yeah, man, that dude can stroke. Like he can shoot.
Gonna be good in Toronto, though. I think.
Yeah, I got it from the Raptors' perspective, absolutely, because they're going younger now, and he fits that timeline. You do have to pay him coming up, I think, but that's fine. If their Lowry's money is going to be gone, they don't have to play Powell now. They already got Siakam done. They got Van Vliet done. So yeah, they have no problem doing that. Not getting anything for Lowry with the Raptors is their only thing I don't understand. Like, you're not going to get nothing for him. I understand you didn't want to just give him away.
Point, you got to take the best offer that's actually on the table.
Yes. Like, you're not giving him away. Now you're going to lose him for nothing.
Yeah.
He's not re-signing there after this year. That's not even play right there. He's trying to get on a contender.
I wouldn't re-sign him. I wouldn't want to re-sign him after this year.
Exactly. Agreed.
Bring back Kyle Lowry for what kind of contract you signed him to? A 4-year deal? A 3-year deal for Kyle Lowry? Who's nah, we're not doing
35. No.
Because the type of money he's going to want. No, we're not doing that.
That's why the teams that were trading for him or were interested in trading for him were not willing to give the full price that the Raptors wanted. Because yes, he's still good. But for how much longer? And you have to pay him after this year.
Gotta pay him.
Like that has to be equated when you're trying to trade someone. Like, and I feel like Masai Ujiri.
You can't give him no BS contract. He's an all-star, so he's the one.
I feel like Masai Ujiri was not factoring those parts in. Like, he just wanted what he wanted, and that was it. And that's why he's still sitting there holding the bag after all the antics yesterday. We saw him Drake calling him. We saw him emotional leaving in the court. Now he's going to just come back and play the rest of the year. And I was like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, to me, Toronto already is in a lost season. But it's absolutely. It wasn't lost already. It's lost now. You can't go back into that locker room and like, it's not going to be the same to me. I don't think you can make it, make it okay.
I think you can because he's Mr. Raptor. And he's not a problem person. I think he's going to be fine going back. I feel like he always, and no one's talking trash to him, and he's not going to give Ujiri issues. His jersey is going to be retired there one day. He's part of the first championship there every day. So I think they'll figure it out. But it's all about, you didn't get nothing for an asset. Like that's always, it never makes sense to do that. Like you see Orlando,
Yeah.
they were getting rid of all their assets. Like they were not going to be sitting there holding the bag
Yeah.
on any of those guys.
Like I said, at some point, you got to just get the best offer that's available and keep it moving. Like you can't. Now you got yourself, like you said, you're gonna lose them for nothing. I mean, the bonus is that the money comes off the books, but you could have got, could have got an asset or something, to try to build with. But it's what it is. I'd like to talk a lot more about the people that didn't make a move. I want to circle back to the Oladipo move, man. I think that Oladipo move is that was a good move, and I think Miami is the type of place where they're gonna pay Oladipo. I think he's there, and I think they're gonna build a team that we're gonna have to worry. We are gonna have to worry. We're gonna have to worry about the team. That's a problem now. That is an issue.
He fits them perfectly.
Yeah, that's a problem.
He fits everything Miami.
I wanted them to get Lowry because at least Lowry, like we all talk. I mean, no offense to Lowry, that is a great player, but we only got worried about Lowry for maybe a couple more seasons at like that level.
Yeah.
Oladipo fitting in there is going to be a problem that we're all going to have to deal with.
They could get first year Indiana Oladipo. Like remember when that first year he went there in that Paul George trade, it was like, oh, who's this dude? Oh, Oladipo got it. That's what Miami could get. He could get back healthy. He doesn't have to strain much this year. You still got Jimmy in front of him. You still got Bam. Tyler Hero's not going to go anywhere. Duncan Robinson didn't go anywhere. Like they still have everything there for him to adjust himself into a role. And then once he adjusts, watch out. Like, yeah, I do not like that they got him at all. It doesn't. They don't scare me much for this season because I think, like I said,
I don't think that we're gonna see. I think we'll see some flashes. Probably have some good games. They probably not gonna really even. They still have Tyler Hero there, so I don't think they will lean on him much.
Like we said, they're gonna allow him to work himself in. Oh shit!
Season? Oh no!
Yeah, I didn't even see that happen.
In the off season, they're gonna resign him. And then next season going forward, we're gonna have a problem with Miami.
They are. I don't know if you saw the report. That's already in the talks of them figuring the deal out. Like that's already. That's no doubt about it. Like we said, there was already rumors that that's where he was going to sign anyway. So for them, everybody was like, oh well, they're not going to give up any assets to get him if they know they can get him this summer. Well, they didn't really give up any assets. That's how I feel. Like,
that's the thing. They got him.
They didn't really give up anything, right? Like Houston. Let's talk about Houston real quick. I know we run out of time. You had James Harden, right? What did they get for James Harden? After everything's settled, what did they get for James Harden? Some picks,
and some swaps.
That's it.
But the swaps
they could have had.
This is with a team that's going to have.
You're swapping with the Nets. Yes, you're swapping with the Nets. The hell does that mean?
Terrible draft picks.
Like, what did they get? They could have had Ben Simmons. They could have just kept Karis LeVert. They ended up with picks, Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley.
Don't forget that they could have had Bro and Duncan Robinson. They could have had that from the Heat.
There's plenty they could have. They fumbled this bag so much. Like I know most time.
The only silver lining for them is that they already had Christian Wood in hand, so they already had the future there. That's only like silver lining that you can really,
they got no silver lining for them. Christian Wood was there anyway. He got nothing to do with Harden. They blew it. I know most of the time you do not get a great return on your all-star. But you got to get more than that. Like, look at the Pacers. They traded Paul George. They got Oladipo, and they got Sabonis, right? They turned Oladipo into Karis LeVert. So Paul George, all in all, turns into Karis LeVert, Sabonis. Nice, right?
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. What's my name? The AD gets traded to the Lakers. Pelicans. They get Brandon Ingram. They get Josh Hart. They got the pick turned into Nickel Roby. I'm great saying Nickel Roby. I'm sorry. Shea Gilgeous' younger cousin, Nickel Alexander Rogers. I can't remember his name right this second, but you know what I'm talking about, right? They got assets for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
They got nothing for Harden. Like, these picks are going to be nothing.
If you look at OKC is the poster child of getting value for players. OKC.
Yeah, because they got Shea Gilgeous for Paul George. Yeah.
OKC should be involved in every trade that happens from here on out.
You just called him like, yo, should we do this?
No, not even that. No, I'm just saying they have 37 draft picks over the last 7.
I got you.
Anytime you trying to make a trade, you might as well just call OKC and say, yo, can I get one of them draft picks? I'm trying to make this trade happen. Like, yo, they have all the picks. They have to have a pick from each team in the NBA.
They probably do. They got one from us. We when we went and sent them Horford for Eddie Green.
They can't make that many picks. They can't do it.
They can't. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, they own the next couple of drafts. Like Sam Presti. At some point,
they're going back the Brinks truck up and be like, yo, give me. Let me get a motherfucking. They're gonna take whoever they want. They're gonna hit you like 10 draft picks. Yep, it's crazy.
Yep. The next star that wants out, that probably is where they'll end up because they're back loaded and they're right. And Presti's already proven he ain't afraid to make no deal.
Yeah,
he gonna make a deal. He gonna make a deal.
The fact that he was able to trade Paul George and Russell Westbrook in the same all season, that just tells you what type of deals he put.
And then he flipped Chris Paul. Like he has no problem turning established players into assets.
Adams. And I mean, like he moved everything and then made it all.
And then Shea Gilgeous is the real deal.
OKC is not a bad team, as is.
Shea Gilgeous is nice.
You
know what I mean? And don't let them mess around and get lucky in the lottery this year. Put Evan Mobley with Shea Gilgeous.
Yeah.
Put Cade Cunningham with Gilgeous because Gilgeous can
take off ball. They don't need luck. They got picks. They can move up to the draft. They can get Cade Cunningham if they really want
to. Yeah, they could. I mean, I don't know. The team may not offer, but in theory, yes, they could do whatever they want.
They want.
Yeah, Tatum's fine. He's back on the court.
Yeah, he's back playing. He hit a 3, I think.
Yeah, OKC, shout out to y'all. Y'all doing it right. But like I said, it was a very, very eventful trade deadline, and I think it's going to lead into an eventful buyout market. Drummond, we already know he's going to be bought out.
One other thing before we close out, why didn't the Wizards do more?
Because they're the Wizards.
I'm like, you got to do something here. Like, what we doing? What we doing here? How is Russell Westbrook still a Wizard? What are we doing? What are we doing?
They're the Wizards.
Yeah, all right. I would be upset if I was a Washington Wizards fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. You should be, but they're the Wizards. They have not done anything correct.
Y'all didn't feel like y'all wanted to do nothing here?
They have not done anything correct in a long time. They're the Wizards. Like, I'm sorry, that's all I got for you.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I mean, I said, I found that curious.
Some teams in every sport are just them. You just don't know what the fuck are you doing. Like, there's no explanation. None. They have one of the best players in the league. They have one of the best players in the league. They're not going to move him. He's not going to force his way out of there. Westbrook's playing some of the best ball he's played in a while. He looks healthy. They could have moved him for a lot. They didn't either.
Right now, Westbrook could be on the Lakers right now.
Lakers would have gave him a lot to get him.
They could trade the same package they were offering for Lowry. They could have offered for Westbrook. I feel like they would have. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta give more, but they're the Wizards, man. They don't know what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing, and unfortunately, it's gonna ruin Bradley Beal's career.
Hey, not if we have anything to say about it.
Yeah, we gotta keep getting him out of there. You gotta see, like the gift. I mean the meme with the boy Shiggy. I'm gonna get you out of there.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna get you out of there.
If I see one team that could possibly
get you out of there.
I think it's us because we got Tatum. We got what everybody else don't have. You want to
Bradley
play with
Beal?
He's
It's
not
gonna
gonna say
save you.
no. He's not gonna say no. You want to
Hey,
play with
but
him?
man, like I said, that contract, he
Yeah,
should have
man.
never signed it. He should never took the
Yeah,
extension.
that
I know
contract is
he's a loyal dude and all of this, and he wants to be the one to bring Washington back. I hear you, bro. I respect it. But they not rocking. Like, they don't got it. They not Portland. They not Portland.
Mm-mm. That's not who you should be committed to. That's like when
Yeah.
you see a bad chick and she's so committed to her dude, and it's like that's not the right dude. That's not the one that you want to be committed to. That ain't it.
Man, let's go.
18
Hey,
times.
it's the Wizards. It is what it is for them. Sorry. Feel
Anyway,
sorry
man,
for them. Feel
let's get up
sorry for
out
them.
of
Just
here,
like
man.
I feel like one thing, I feel sorry for LaMelo Ball. Rookie of
Oh
the year
yeah,
was his.
that sucks, man.
He gets hurt. I know he's not going to get the award, but going forward in life, everyone that watched this year will always say that was LaMelo's Rookie of the Year. And
Yeah.
LaMelo, you got a great future. Don't worry about it. Keep doing your thing. There's a lot of people that didn't even give you the respect.
Yeah, man, it sucks, man. Anthony Edwards is a great kid, great player, and I think I'm pretty sure he's going to be the one to take the award, and he deserves it. He's had some big games, but we all know what LaMelo was doing down there. Like not even just on the court, just as a whole with that franchise, putting a whole different
Yep.
energy into that team. It was dope. It was dope to see. It sucks that it ended that way. It's similar to your boy Carson Wentz, that MVP type season he was putting together, and then to get hurt, it's a similar type of feeling. Like, man,
But
like
that's what I
that.
mean. It'll be remembered that same way. Just like I said, everybody that saw Wentz play that year, we know that was your MVP. We're gonna give it to you. You got it. LaMelo, that's your Rookie of the Year. It may not be on record, but that's his Rookie of the Year.
Everybody who knows.
We know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I had. I had to make that be known.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was one of those gut punches. Like, man, that was like you felt. You know how to be a Hornets fan or a Ball, fan, big baller fan, whatever. You saw that kid play. You saw what he was bringing to the game, and it just sucks that he didn't get to finish out his season the way. And they in the middle of the playoffs.
They're making a run.
Yep. Yeah, they're like fourth or fifth seed in the playoffs. Like I'm like, man, that was bad. That was just something you hate to see it. You hate to see it. But anyway, I think we hit everything as far as this is one of those ones where you got to kind of mourn the trade deadline. It's one of those the biggest
this was fun
times of the year. And now it's like it's over. But we got the NFL draft coming up.
Playoffs,
and then after that playoffs. So we got plenty to talk about. So of course we're gonna be here. We're gonna be talking. But with that said, catch us next time. And join in on the conversation, everybody. Catch us on social media, Twitter and Instagram under About That Sports Life, ABTDATSPRTSLIFE. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook under About That Sports Life. Shoot us an email, any questions, comments, concerns, topics, whatever you want to talk about. info@aboutthatsportslife.com. And you also can check out replays of the show on our website. www.aboutthatsportslife.com. Keep your eyes on the website. We got some more things coming for you on that as well.
Yes, sir. Peace.